Page 45. Don't be ridiculous. Listen to the first model.
You know, my dog isn't as friendly as your dog.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much friendlier than mine.
Listen to the second model.
You know, my novels aren't as interesting as Ernest Hemingway's novels.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours are much more interesting than his.
Do exercises 1 through 8. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
You know, my apartment isn't as clean as your apartment.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much cleaner than mine.
2.
You know, my computer isn't as powerful as Bob's computer.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much more powerful than his.
3.
You know, my boss isn't as nice as your boss.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much nicer than mine.
4.
You know, my furniture isn't as comfortable as your furniture.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much more comfortable than mine.
5.
You know, my house isn't as big as the Jacksons' house.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much bigger than theirs.
6.
You know, my pronunciation isn't as good as Maria's pronunciation.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much better than hers.
7.
You know, my garden isn't as pretty as your garden.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much prettier than mine.
8.
You know, my recipe for fruitcake isn't as delicious as Stanley's recipe for fruitcake.
Don't be ridiculous. Yours is much more delicious than his.